Good. Oh, you know what? I almost said good morning because we normally record really early, but I didn't want to get up really early, and Phil decided that was okay too. And I realize you're not a teacher and don't have a 5-year-old, so like we
Oof.
might talk about recording at different times anyway. We don't have to stick to the 7 a.m. Saturday morning.
I mean, I 22 panels after dark.
Right,
It's a
right.
fun one. Yeah.
Right. So, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to 22 Panels and the final episode of season 5. This is episode 209 on November 9th, 2025. It's not the ninth yet, but that's when I'll post it.
Right, right.
Um,
How's it
just
feel?
be
Four years of work.
Yeah, just because I feel like it, I need to say the words 6 and 7 and then hi Nate. Um, but before we get into new to order and the week that was, Phil, I think you've got a piece of
Yeah.
news.
Just a little personal news near and dear to my heart. This week on November 5th, my parents celebrated their 37th wedding anniversary. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. If you're listening, love you both. And congratulations on 37 wonderful years of marriage. I wouldn't be here without it.
And I'm just sitting 37 years and Phil. I would
Mm-hmm.
have thought that like 20 years of Phil and they would have been ready to like move. I'm just saying.
Oh, no, no, no. They
So,
they they
hats off
created
to him.
this. Where do you think I get this from, Tad?
That doesn't mean that they like to see it reflected back.
I will have you know that I'm on a pretty good terms with my parents these days.
I know
So,
you are. I know
oh
you
yeah.
are. That's what makes it funny. It wouldn't be
Admittedly,
funny if you like
they
hated
did,
them.
yeah, right. I was gonna say, about I don't know, almost 20 years ago, they're the ones that moved out of state and I
Right,
stayed. So,
right, right. So, yeah. Um, Happy anniversary, Phil's parents, and a couple more options in digital comics coming very soon. Sweet Shop is in beta. Sweet Shop is tied to I forget the name of the other app, but there's an app that is like a creator marketing slash sales app that's been going for a little while. So um it already has comics roots, but Sweet Shop is the next digital comic provider and it's in beta right now and I think they're kicking off with 24 publishers including most of the big ones. Um Similarly, Inky Pen is launching via Steam on
hmm.
November 18th. I don't know.
What can't you get on Steam these days?
The Sweet Shop includes Image, Kodansha, Fantagraphics, Dark Horse, IDW, Manga, Mavericks, Ignition Press, Panic. Ignition Press are one reason that I'll jump in almost immediately because Ignition Press is one of the ones that I would be reading more of, except that um, they're not really available digitally anywhere yet.
Hmm.
Um, they're Kenny Myers and his tech company do them. They also have the other app is called Bindings, which is a marketing tool for creators, and they've got a Find Your Comic Store, a tool for finding physical comic shops. So it'll be interesting to play with. I'm looking forward to playing with. Um, they got some Kelly Sue DeConnick says nice things for them about them. So it'll be really interesting to see how it is. I have high hopes. It's the one that I've kind of been watching for a while, and it looks like they're putting a high emphasis on getting the what's the word I'm looking for? The um metadata down to help you find what you want to read and that sort of thing. So I'm looking forward to that. Inky Pen, a small Norwegian-based company, has been selling comics on Nintendo Switch
Oh
already.
wow.
Yeah. And carries publishers like Dark Horse, IDW, Kodansha, and Dynamite. So, yeah. Um, since Amazon essentially gave up comics,
Or killed it so hard.
right? We've had lots of people step into the fold. So
Mhm. Well, I just joined the Sweet Shop waitlist, so we'll
I
see
did too.
how long until we get a good
All
look
right.
inside.
So yeah. What kind of week has it been? Well, we currently have flags at half mast for a war criminal. Um,
Once again.
though though one of the great tweets from Wednesday was Democrat Socialist for mayor of New York, Dick Cheney says, "Over my dead body."
Oh,
Um, it also uh, brought Matt Bors out of semi-retirement in terms of political cartoons. Did
that was a good one. Yeah.
fantastic a fantastic
Definitive Cheney in hell.
yeah, we call it a memorial cartoon.
Yeah.
Spencer Ackerman has become the king of writing the obituaries of horrible people.
Oh yeah.
Um, his obituary of Henry Kissinger was outstanding
Mm.
in Rolling Stone, and he did the obituary in the Nation for Mr. Cheney, and I think my
Just
favorite
incredible.
line was Dick Cheney's looking up on the world that he wrought, and just the subtle looking up right now.
Yeah. Oh, at least he's
So,
warm.
but we'll get into all of that, and specifically we did some partying like it was 2012 in maybe even 2008 on Tuesday. Um, so we'll chat about that some more in a more hopeful blue wave edition of Great Responsibility in a little bit. But first, let's talk some new to order comics. Astro Quantum from Andrea Moody and Arturo Fabra at Mad Cave. Cast out to die on the toxic world of Maku, young Ishmael finds an unlikely ally in the sharp-tongued Solimite exile Queequeg. Together, they claw their way through underground bazaars, brutal creatures of the galaxy, and bitter rivalries to chase a destiny bigger than either imagined. A place aboard the legendary Moloch hunting starship Pequod, an all new epic space saga of survival, rebellion, and hunger to reach beyond the stars starts here. I'm just going out on a limb and saying that they're adapting Moby Dick to space.
Hmm. I think
Um,
I need a few more clues before I'm gonna walk into that one.
we'll see. But Andrea Moody's art is just outstanding,
Oh yeah.
and I like me a good sci-fi book, so I'm
Yeah,
on board.
it sounds great.
I'm definitely on board.
All right. Next up, we've got Malevolent from Justin Jordan, John Bevins, and Felipe Sobrero. 30 years ago, we unleashed demons into the world, but humans can adapt to anything, even a demon-haunted world. But now humanity has created something new, a weapon that can kill demons if she doesn't kill us first. New ongoing series, Justin Jordan, John Bevins, all those same people, in stores January 28th. This one
Image.
from Image.
I suppose I should have said that January 28th as well for Astro Quantum from Mad Cave.
It's 22 panels after dark. Ted's might have had a
Yeah,
few
yeah,
drinks. He's throwing them back. All right, and
I don't drink.
oh, you don't? Okay,
I
that's a fun.
don't.
Neither do I, believe it or not. There we go. Uh, this is Otter Squad from Matt Fife and Matt Rogers. You've met Slaughter, now meet his Otter Squad. Blast Quake, Shadow Volt, and Scrapyard. Deep in the heart of the Kozelets rainforest, Slaughter leads the Otter Squad in an assault on the blood-worshipping terrorist cult known as Leech. But before the Otters can strike, they're swarmed by the dreaded High Lord Odexem. Grab a chute and prepare to jump in this all-new series that fans of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and G.I. Joe are sure to enjoy. And that is in stores January 28th from Keen Spot.
This is from a couple of I mean, I don't know how long they've been doing stuff um in uh Europe, but this is the third series that I've seen in the United States from Francesco Perillo and Stefano Cartacelli. Where does the rainbow end? I really like their other two series, Love Me, a Romance Story, and Long Cold Winter. Gilda has been abandoned by her parents, but fortunately, she has been discovered at the Kakashi Brothers robot dump and has been raised by the robots who discovered her. She was lucky to be found in the rainbow sector by robots that cared for her. However, she has also been shielded from the outside world, other humans, and from a dangerous section of their robot world called the Dark Cage, where the most hostile of robots live. Word is spread about her ability to fix robots, though, and one vicious robot from the Dark Cage wants her to repair all of the violent robots that live there, and nothing will stop him. This is coming from Mad Cave Comics on January 14th. I love Perillo's art style
Mhm. Or
and
you mean
oh
Carvin
yeah, I'm
Sally's art
sorry,
stuff?
Carticelli's art style. And Perillo's got both sweet and um kind of satirical
Hmm.
style of writing that is really cool. So yeah, here you go.
All right.
You're
Next up,
up.
we've got Breakthrough Life on the Brink from Christopher Fink. Christopher Fink has just awoken in the desert. So disoriented, the first person he sees is his own fictional character. What is reality? What does an eco-feminist movement from the future and a long abandoned but never forgotten indie comic, Leopold and Brink, have to do with his predicament? From this science fiction framework emerges a metafictional memoir as epic and intimate as life itself, embarking in earnest within the onset of the 2020 lockdowns. Fink's years-long journey of graphic healing hit an unexpected detour when he received a brain cancer diagnosis midway through constructing this book. Not to be deterred, his trek The tragedy and comedy of life become tools to break new liberative ground. A lifetime of drawing conjures fresh and playful visual expressions to complement his stream of consciousness style. Vonnegut-esque slipstreams of memory weave together tumultuous youth, romantic misadventures, and the looping pathways of a working artist, a tapestry of loss and longing. Buoyed to the ephemera of yesteryear, this is an ode to the comics, film, and TV that raised him and the adults who didn't. A saga of catharsis and reconciliation, breakthrough, life on the brink is a story to live by. In stores, April 15th from,
Graphics.
yeah, Fantagraphics, that's it. I don't know why FU threw me off.
Because it's technically Fantagraphics Underground, but it's all
Um,
Fantagraphics.
oh yeah. No, that sounds magnificent. I really
It
want to read
does.
that.
It does. The Credits Roll into the Sea, Volume 1 from John Terrakeen at Dark Horse Manga. It's not the movies you like. You like watching the people watching the movies. Just what are you going to do with the rest of your life? It's the question you'll always have to answer, no matter your age. Miko Chino is a 65-year-old retired woman in mourning for her late husband. Remembering how they used to watch films together, Emiko goes to the movie theater for the first time in years, where she meets Kai, an attractive, ambiguous young man who studies filmmaking at a nearby art school. They would seem to have nothing in common except for this. Both of them sometimes like to look more at the way the audience reacts to a movie than the movie itself. Kai believes Emiko has the same deep desire he possesses to experience how people respond to something they made, and challenges her to stake the rest of her life discovering that thrill. Soon, Emiko surprises herself by enrolling in the same film school as Kai, but sailing into this new sea, she's suddenly inside the currents of her fellow students' lives, a much younger generation that she struggles to understand, driven by their own passions and their own relationships. Who's really experienced at life? And is it old age or observation that brings wisdom? And does what you're looking for change when you look with your eyes instead of through a camera lens? This is from, again, Dark Horse Manga and in stores on April 21st.
All right, next up we have Hunger from Niharika Neji and Joe Borcado, covered by Bill Sienkiewicz. In 1896 Bombay, under British rule, a concentration camp holds Isna, a plague-infected and famine-stricken being. Mutated through medical experiments, she, along with others, becomes a mutant. British officers invite famine photographer William Wallace Hooper to document the mutants, unaware he's controlled by a shape-shifting vampire called Pisach. The Pisach infects prey with insatiable hunger, while Hooper bonds with Isna amidst rulers' games with famine slaves, unbeknownst to Unbeknownst, Isna descends from women embracing monsters. Discovering Hooper's role in her mother's death, she wishes to become a monster herself. Transformed into a half human, half mutant, half beast, she embraces her hunger, consuming oppressors and drenching her land in blood. This infinite hunger mirrors trauma's generational and cultural impact, forging an inseparable link between oppressed and oppressor. In stores, January 7th. Uh,
This is another one from Lab Press.
Lab Press. There we
Yeah.
go.
Mary Shelley from Alessandro de Virgilio and Manuela Santoni. The extraordinary life of the woman who created one of fiction's most enduring characters, Frankenstein's monster. Born at the turn of the 19th century to the famous philosopher Mary Wollstonecraft, forerunner of the feminist movement, and William Godwin, novelist and radical politician, Mary Shelley lived a life in constant flight from social conformity. Her struggle birthed a pop culture phenomenon. Now in print for the first time in English, Mary Shelley, The Eternal Dream, chronicles Shelley's relationships with other important artists and writers, including her eventual husband, Percy Shelley, and the butterfly effect of love, hardship, tragedy, and inspiration that led to the creation of the infamous monster. This is also from Mad Cave and
Oh,
the
wow.
the Becco Giallo imprint in stores on January 14th.
All right, next up
Some
we've got
collections.
uh
Sorry.
oh, that's okay. Essentia from John Dolmayan and Tony Parker and Blonde. It is 150 years in the future. The city of Essentia towers above its sister city Bethany in perpetual dominance. In the city of immortals, power resides in Essentia, coveted by all but accessible to few. This is the story of what one would do to become immortal and who they would abandon, who they would betray, and ultimately what price they would pay to remain in Essentia. In stores January 7th from Wake.
Yeah. Wake Entertainment.
All right.
Uh, you know I got to talk Love and Rockets when I get the opportunity, and I get the opportunity now. Loca's, the Maggie and Hopi stories, is being reprinted. Jaime Hernandez is one of the most humane, graceful, and imaginatively inexhaustible artists in American popular culture. Locus tells the story of Maggie Chascarrillo, a bisexual Mexican American woman attempting to define herself in a community rife with class, race, and gender issues. Maggie's story begins in the early 1980s Southern California rock scene, when it was shifting from the excesses of the 1970s to the gritty basics of punk and new wave. Hardcore punk rock came to the fore, and the teenage Maggie finds herself drawn to the anarchy, energy, and diversity of the scene, which in Jaime's hands become a very real, habitable place, populated with authentic human beings rather than stereotypes. She quickly befriends Hopi Glass, a feisty, anti authoritarian punkette who quickly becomes Maggie's on again, off again lover and a constant presence in her life as they navigate a devastatingly natural world. Created over 15 years from 1981 to 1996 in the pages of the legendary comic book series Love and Rockets. Volume 1, numbers 1 to 50, this new deluxe hardcover edition includes 3 stories that were not included in the previous edition. This is in stores on January 21st from Fantagraphics. I have already pre ordered my copy.
Nice.
New to order for the month of November, brought to you by the Nexus Vault, Laverne, Minnesota, 109 East Main Street. The Nexus Vault, Laverne at gmail.com. Congratulations, Tyler, on opening your new shop. And we can't wait to have you back. Uh, so, new comic series. Take it away, Phil.
All right, first up, we've got Archie's Valentine's Day Spectacular from Holly G, Stephen Butler, Lily Butler, Glenn Whitmore, and Jack Morelli from Archie Comics on January 14th.
Astro Quantum #1 from Andrea Moody and Arturo Fabra at Mad Cave on January 28th.
Babs, the Black Road South #1 from Garth Ennis, Jason Burrows at Ahoy Comics, January 14th.
Bloodland #1 from B. Clay Moore and Mark Chatter at Ignition on January 14th.
Club Zodiac #1 from Caden Phoenix, Phineas Conrad, Martia Gomez, and Fanny Arteaga at Keen Spot on November 21st.
That would be January 21st.
January 21st, my apologies.
And The Crown, A Tale of Hell #1 from Mike Mignola, Todd Mignola, and Warwick Johnson Cadwell at Dark Horse on February 11th.
Then there's Hannah and the Hells versus the Beatles from Sam Ashurst, Tony M. Clark from Floating World on February 11th.
Holy Brawl #1 from Athla Fabio at Keensport on January 14th.
Hank Howard, Pizza Detective, The Two Hollywoods, #1 from Robert Venditti, David Lapham, Bad Idea, January 7th. Don't forget, there's a 3D 1 in 50 variant issue.
3D inside as well as out. Inglorious X Force #1 from Tim Seeley, Jordan Bloom, Michael St. Maria at Marvel on January 21st.
Then there's Iron Man #1 from Joshua Williamson, Carmen Carnero, Marvel Comics, January 28th.
Night City #1 from Matt Kint and David Lapham at Dark Horse on February 4th.
Love and Rockets Volume 1 #1 Replicant Edition from Gabriel Hernandez, Jaime
That's
Hernandez,
Gilbert Hernandez.
Gilbert Hernandez. I am so
Gilbert.
sorry. I don't know what I am looking at.
Gilberto.
Gilberto Hernandez. My thousand apologies. Jaime Hernandez, Fantagraphics, January 28th.
Luna Snow World Tour #1 from Greg Pak, Ario Anandito, and Takeshi Miyazawa at Marvel on January 14th.
Magic the Gathering, Untold Stories, Jace #1, Michael W. Conrad, Caitlin Yarsky, Dark Horse, February 4th.
Malevolent #1 from Justin Jordan, John Bivens, Felipe Sobrero at Image Comics on January 28th.
Mark Spector, Moon Knight #1 from Jed McKay, Dev Malia Pramanik at Marvel Comics, February 11th.
Otter Squad #1 from Matt Fife and Matt Rogers at Keenspot on January 28th.
The Planet-Sized Planet Death #1 from Robert Venditti, Derek Kolstad, Thomas Giorello, Bad Idea, January 7th, and that is in 11 by 17 trim.
Rogue #1 from Erica Schultz and Luigi Zagaria at Marvel on January 21st.
Psy, Dimensional Rivals #1 from Peach Momoko at Marvel Comics, January 14th.
The Shiver of Christmastown #1 from Torin Grombuck and Edu Mana at Dynamite on January 7th.
Spirit of the Shadows #1 from Nick Cagnetti, Daniel Ziegler, Oni, January 28th.
Continuing the newfound rekindled friendship between Marvel and DC, they're releasing facsimiles of a couple of Treasury editions featuring Superman and Spider-Man. First is the 50th anniversary Treasury edition of Superman versus Spider-Man by Jerry Conway, Ross Andrew, Neil Adams, and John Romita Sr. from DC Marvel on January 7th, followed by DC and Marvel present Superman and Spider-Man, the Marvel Treasury edition #28 from Jim Shooter and John Buscema from DC Marvel on February 4th.
Next up is Thundar the Barbarian from Jason Aaron, Cuber Ball, Dynamite, January 21st.
And finally, Where Does the Rainbow End #1 from Francesco Perillo and Stefano Cartacelli at Mad Cave on January 14th. Phil, let's talk some graphic novels.
Oh yeah, first up is Blood Honey by Sean Peacock at IDW Dark, February 3rd.
Breakthrough Life on the Brink from Christopher Fink at Fantagraphics Underground on January 28th.
A Brief History of a Long War, Ukraine's Fight Against Russian Domination from Mariam Naim, Yulia Vus, Ian Kip,
Ivan.
Ivan, I'm so sorry, Ivan Kipibida from
Oh,
10 Speed, January 27th.
Cordo Maltese, Fable of Venice and Other Adventures from Hugo Pratt at Fantagraphics on January 14th.
Creatures and Corridors from Brandon Auman and Andrea Moody. Lab. Is that Action Lab or just Lab?
No, that's just Lab.
Just Lab on January 7th.
The Credits Roll into the Sea, Volume 1 from John Terrakeen at Dark Horse Manga on April 21st.
Cyber Phoenix by Andy Seto, Nakama Press Mad Cave, January 28th.
Essentials Volume 1 from Luke Arnold, Chris Doc Wyatt, Glenn Fabry, Jason Howard, Vince Locke, Brendan McCarthy, Andrea Moody, and M.K. Perker, and Danny at Lab Press on January 7th.
The Extraordinary Voyages, Volume 1 from Dennis Pierre Filippi, Silvio Camboni at Paper Cuts, January 14th.
The Girl Who Draws on Whales from Ariella Cristantina at Dark Horse on March 31st.
Followed by The Girl Who Raised the Dead, Kawashima Norikazu from Uncivilized, January 28th.
Hunger Niharikia from Joe Picardo at Lab on January 7th.
I Can Sell You a Body, Ryan Ferrier, George Kimbadas, IDW Dark, January 27th.
Johnny Red, A Couple of Heroes from Garth Ennis and Keith Burns at Rebellion on January 7th.
Kanga You, Lost in a Labyrinth from Sholly Fish, Vancy Labat, DC Comics, March 3rd.
The Life and Death of Fritz the Cat from Robert Crumb at Fantagraphics on January 14th.
Luna Express from Campbell White at Top Shelf IDW, February 10th.
Mary Shelley from Alessandro Di Virgilio and Manuela Santoni at Mad Cave. Becca Gallo on January 14th.
My Soulmate by Wa Ki at Nakama Press Mad Cave, January 21st.
Nils, The Tree of Life from Jerome Hamann and Antoine Carrion at Magnetic Oni on January 21st.
Our Little Wild Time by Fred Noland from Fantagraphics Underground, January 28th.
The Pass from Catriona Chapman at Fantagraphics on January 21st.
Pigwife by Abby Luck at Top Shelf IDW on January 13th.
Pie Rats, Volume 1, Set Sail for Treasure, Alexis Vivallo at Paper Cuts on January 21st.
Pink Monsters by Klaus Daniel Herman at Oni Comics on May 27th.
Punk Taco Adventures from Adam Walenta, Makana Walenta, Kiolo Walenta, and Gabriel Mayorga at Paper Cuts on January 28th.
Serendipity from Gabby Benda, Holiday House, January 27th.
Super Science Volume 1 from N. Alessandro K. and M.K. Perker at Lab on January 7th.
Theodora's Letters, An Enslaved Woman's Fight for Family and Freedom by Marcelo de Salete at Fantagraphics on January 28th.
Tommy the Coward from Marco Sanseri, Roberto Laciello, and at Paper Cuts on January 14th.
Wallflower by Yasmin Omar Atta from Viking Penguin on January 14th.
White Shadows from Antoine Azanam and Antoine Carrion at Magnetic Oni on January 21st.
And then there's The Woodchipper by Joe Ullman at Drawn and Quarterly on February 11th.
Now for some collections, and a heck of a month of collections.
Starting out, we got Essentia from John Dolmayan, and Tony Parker, Blonde Wake Entertainment, January 7th.
Amazing Spider-Man, the classic newspaper strips, 1977, from Stan Lee and John Romita Sr. at Clover Press on February 25th.
Ancestral Recall by Jordan Clark, Adagun Ilhan at Ahoy Comics, April 15th.
Archie versus Minor Threats from Patton Oswalt, Jordan Bloom, Timmy Haig, and Scott Koblish at Dark Horse on March 31st.
Batman Hush 2 from Jeff Loeb, Jim Lee, Scott Williams at DC Comics, March 31st.
The Beauty, Book 1 from Jeremy Hahn, Jason A. Hurley, Stephen Green, Brett Weldele, and Mike Huddleston at Ignition on January 20th.
Bronze Faces, Shobo Schaff, Alexandre Tefenki at Boom, March 31st.
Bitchcraft from Aaron Reese, Lemma Carroll at Mad Cave on January 21st.
Cemetery Kids Don't Die, Volume 2, Run Rabbit from Zach Thompson and Daniel Irizarry at Oni, May 13th.
Cold Witch, A Tale of the Shrouded College from Charles Sewell and Will Sliney on Image Comics on January 7th.
The Creeping Below by Brian Azzarello and Vanessa Del Rey, Boom Comics, March 17th.
Dick Tracy, 1941 from Chester Gould and Clover Press, January 28th.
Deadpool Wolverine, A Time for Strife by Benjamin Percy, Joshua Cassara, Robert Gill at Marvel Comics, February 10th.
Don't Forget Your Briefcase from Elliot Rahal and Philip Sevy at Mad Cave on January 7th.
Five Weapons by Jimmy Robinson at Image Comics on January 28th.
George Perez's The New Titans Artist Edition from Marv Wolfman and George Perez at Act 4 Image on July 1st.
Godzilla Heist by Van Jensen, Kelsey Ramsey, IDW, January 13th.
Hellboy Universe, The Secret Histories, Volume 1 from Mike Mignola, John Arcudi, Lawrence Campbell, Christopher Mitten, and Dave Stewart at Dark Horse Comics on March 24th.
Jessica Jones, Blind Spot by Kelly Thompson, Matea De Lewis, and Marcio Takara, and Filippo Andrade, Marvel Comics, March 3rd.
Lavender Jack, Volume 1 from Dan Shikade, Jen Manley Lee at Dark Horse Comics on March 3rd.
The Legend Testers by Jordi Bernay, Graham Baker at Rebellion, January 14th.
Leo Rising from Archie Bongiovanni at Abrams on January 21st.
Locus, the Maggie and Hopi stories from Jaime Hernandez, Fantagraphics, January 21st.
Marvel Knights, The World to Come from Christopher Priest and Joe Quesada from Marvel Comics on June 2nd.
The Missionary from Ryan Stegman and Jason Howard at Distillery, February 24th.
My Gun is the Jury and Other Stories from Jack Davis, Wally Wood, Al Feldstein, Harvey Kurtzman, and Jack Mendelson at Fantagraphics on January 7th.
One World Under Doom by Ryan North and R.B. Silva at Marvel Comics, February 10th.
Quick Stops, Volume 3 from Kevin Smith, Ryan Gaja, John Sprengelmeyer, Mark Rahal, and Ahmad Rafat at Dark Horse on March 31st.
Runaways, Think of the Children by Rainbow Rowell and Elena Casagrande and Roberta Ingranata at Marvel Comics, February 10th.
Spectrum Deluxe Edition from Rick Quinn and Dave Chisholm at Mad Cave on January 28th.
Star Trek Lore War from Christopher Cantwell, Jackson Lansing, Colin Kelly, Ryan North, David Tinto, and Derek Charm, IDW, January 13th.
The Tin Can Society from Peter Warren, Francesco Mobili at Image Comics on January 28th.
Tex Arcanum from Christopher Monfetta, Miguel Martos, Dark Horse, March 10th.
Trinity, Daughter of Wonder Woman from Tom King and Balin Ortega at DC Comics on March 17th.
The Unchosen by David Marquez at Image Comics, January 7th.
Vanishing Point from Mark Russell Wando, Ryan Alexander Tanner, Alberto Ponticelli Jacques at Mad Cave on January 21st.
Closing us out, we have Wolverines and Deadpools, Claws and Mercs by Cody Ziegler, Ryan North, Christos Gage, Roger Antonio, Javier Garon, Alan Robinson, Marvel Comics, March 3rd.
Final order cut off. Scroll down. Not a lot of them this week. We got Barbaric, The Long Death #1 from Michael Morisi, Nathan Gooden at Vault Comics, out on December 17th. Groupies from Helen Milan and Tula Lotte at Mad Cave, out on December 17th. The New Space Age #1 from Kenny Porter, Mike Becker at Mad Cave on December 17th. Red Before Black from Stephanie Phillips and Goran Suzuka at Boom Comics on December 17th. And Wrestle Heist #1 from Kyle Starks at Image Comics on December 17th. Crowdfunding right now, we have Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, a storytelling game from Hunters Entertainment on Kickstarter through November 12th. A1 Deadline Special, edited by Dave Elliott, with work from Steve Dillon, Brett Ewins, Gary Leach, Steve Pugh, Shaky Kane, Alan Martin, Jamie Hewlett, Ilya, Dave Gibbons, Roald Marcelius, Chloe Maville, Allison Sampson, Rufus Dayglow, Glenn Fabry, Umar Ditta, Keck W, Dan Whitehead, Kathy Kwan, Gloria Cayley, Mark Shea, Laura Martin, Eric Donovan, Evan Dorkin, Alice Pasquini, Matt Hardy, Peter Milligan, PJ Holden, Robin Jones, Lucy Sullivan, and Dave Elliott at Kickstarter through November 12th. And Witching Season, a witch horror comic anthology edited by Kat Calamia, Phil Falco, and Michelle Abonator, with work from Heather Antos, Alex Segura, Chrissy Williams, Tilly and Susan Bridges, David Bohr, Dan Parent, Stephanie Williams, Miranda Munt, Bailey Rosenblund, Paulina Gadachu, Philip Sevi, Jadzia Axelrod, Rye Hickman, Mark Abnett, Francis Stokes, Andrea Daly, August Kanakis, Lauren Knight, Piper Whitaker, and more at Lifeline Comics on Kickstarter through November 13th. Tom the Dancy Bug from Ruben Bowling at Clover Press on Kickstarter through November 20th. Check out my interview with Ruben Bowling on the interwebs already. We forgot to do our whip earlier.
Oh no.
How to Draw 2026 from Terry Moore at Abstract Studio, also on Kickstarter through November 28th. And also check out my interview and discussion that Matt and I talked to Terry Moore just the other night. By the time this is on your podcast services, so will that be. So
Is that the fourth time or fifth?
third
Third?
time for
Oh,
Terry Moore.
all right.
So it was a hard week for Amazing Books. I'm gonna say that right off the top because White House Robot Romance, really good. Star Trek Red Shirts, really, really good. Planet Death #2, really, really good. Ice Cream Man, Mortal Coil Shuffle, fucking amazing. Um, Batman #3, Birds of Prey #27, amazing. Didn't even get to Cheshire Rob or Cheetah and Cheshire Rob the Justice League #4, but based on the first three, it's amazing. That sort of thing. Honestly, the one that will probably stick with me the longest is R. Crumb's Tales of Paranoia. Um, in
And that's
large
just
part,
honorable mentions.
yeah, in large part because I don't know if what wrote to a friend of mine today is like it's thoughtful, nuanced, and dryly satirical.
Mhm.
Um, except that I don't know if it's intended to be nuanced or dryly satirical, and if it's not,
Hmm.
it's it's thoughtful, informative, though not necessarily of the things that 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 he was I intending. And very, very sad. Either way, it's really good and it strikes at the heart of the meaning of trust and belief in society.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't know if I care what Crumb intended, because I think I think he might have accomplished more than he intended and or like argue with what I take from it.
Hmm.
Um, because like part of what I take from it is I mean, this is one that you and I might want to read together and like dive
Mhm.
into at some point because
Sure.
we could.
I'm already compelled from what you said.
Um, I mean, because really, so much of what he lays out is like you're making incredibly strong arguments that I don't disagree with, except where you're applying them. And I
Hmm.
think the arguments that, you know, I mean, just to give you the perfect example, in a nutshell, is like uh, at least he's portraying himself as being COVID vaccine resistant in large part because, Pfizer has a long track record of fraud. They've paid
Hmm.
lots of money in fines for fraud.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you balance like, oh, this company is a really horrible company
Hmm.
with um believe the science. And
Yeah.
like for me, I tend to like separate the two and like continue to watch the evidence. Like
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah, in hindsight, I feel completely confident having taken the vaccines because I am not dead.
Yeah.
A- a- and COVID has slowed down significantly. And, so there's a ton of evidence now. And yes,
Mhm.
we were kind of guinea pigs, but that's kind of the nature of vaccines.
Well, I mean, new vaccines, sure.
That's what I meant. That's
Yeah,
what I meant.
I had a feeling, but I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of the nature of a particularly an emergency new vaccine. That's
Yes.
kind of the nature of the beast.
But it was also miraculous because of the new technology that it was developed, both in how it was developed in research and what it actually was of the RNA type vaccine.
Right. Though it
So,
wasn't actually really new technology. They'd been working on it for
mhm.
more than a decade. It just happened that now
Oh,
they had
the perfect chance.
something to truly apply it towards.
Okay, interesting.
They'd been working on it. I mean, like, and that's the thing is like COVID-19 wasn't as big of a surprise to people who study this stuff as it felt like to the rest of the world. I
Right.
mean, that's one of the reasons that, like, you need to trust scientists because, like,
Oh, yeah. I,
so much of science is a lifetime commitment.
mhm. Part
But
of
that
it,
doesn't mean that there aren't bad scientists or scientists that
sure.
have been, and that's
Yeah.
that's where it got really interesting reading is it's like, okay, like if nothing else, this is making me think very, very differently about your average conspiracy theorist.
Hmm.
It doesn't mean they're stupid.
Yeah. I
It
mean,
has way
flat
more to
earthers
do with
aside.
trust than has way more to do with trust than intelligence. And
Yeah.
like you can use their same arguments in it. Like if you took the exact same argument and applied it to the banking system, you and I would be cheering it.
Mm. Wait, which argument?
If we took the exact same argument that Crum was making about why he didn't trust the pharmaceutical companies
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure.
and
Okay.
applied it to the banking system.
Yes. Right.
Now,
I
my
see where you're
problem
going.
is it was, I mean, one of the differences is it was like a financial argument
Hmm.
being used to refute science.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where it gets like, if you can't come up with a better scientific argument, I
Hmm.
feel like you're starting into strawman territory,
Right.
but it's an awfully good straw man.
I don't know. Well, just because it's compelling. I mean, yeah, it can be
I
compelling
mean, it
because if
doesn't
it's
convince me,
right, right. But it'll convince some people.
but I can understand why it would both convince some people and give a lot of people pause.
Hmm.
You know, um, and that's one of the reasons I don't know if it was supposed to be like it could be a really dry satire. He could be using himself as the way to really challenge both the conspiracy theorists and the people who completely dismiss them as cranks
Hmm.
because he does
Mm.
generally lay out the pretty good arguments against the conspiracy theorists too.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like this is instead
I
of
do. I do feel like it's going to be a great responsibility all on its own at some point.
okay. All right.
But there were three books that weren't as maybe won't stay with me in their individuality as much, but were so much more fun. And frankly, all of them also had Crumb's art is Crumb's art. It's good art. It's revolutionary art, but like it's not groundbreaking art anymore.
Right.
And it's not particularly creative beyond like developing it to begin with,
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I know of Crumb and I've seen a fair amount of his art, but I don't know if I've
So
ever read a whole book of his.
right. So particularly assorted crisis events number 6 from Dennis Camp and Eric Zawinski, and Space Scouts number 1 from Matt Kent and David Rubin, like make the list instead of Crumb, just because not only do they have great stories, but like
Mhm.
the art is
Oh,
fantastic and creative and like just blows up the medium
I got to read
in
that Space
wonderful
Scouts
ways.
because I love David Rubin. He's great.
Yeah. Well, so's Matt Kent.
They've worked
Um,
together a lot. Yeah.
yeah. And then Death Dog number 1 from Bryce Ingman and Alan Robinson is not only a wonderful satirical story in the way Bryce is quite good at. You can tell why he and Mark Russell have been friends for a long, 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 long time. Their humor complements each other very much. Um, but as an added bonus, um, uh, the dog is able to speak, or the mechanical dog is able to speak with a language of 100 or so words, but he's fixated on the word potato. Um, to the extent even that like the scientists that designed him and programmed him are pretty certain that it's like a sign of his level of intelligence that he like uses the one word to mean different things depending on context clues.
Oh my goodness.
Um, but of course my dog is named Potato, so like that just like
That is pretty great.
it was so wonderful. I
I think
immediately sent a picture of Potato to Bryce so that like I could thank him. And it wasn't on purpose, but he was very happy that he had honored my good boy that way.
that's great.
Um,
That's kind of like in a Vision when Tom King named the dog Sparky. That's what I always name my electronic devices. Like when I can name an
right.
iPod or the
Right.
PlayStation, I always call it Sparky.
Yeah, yeah. So you name all of your electronic devices after after Charles
No,
Schultz too.
no, I didn't know it was after Charles Schultz. That was just because it's an electronic device, so
Yeah,
the
yeah.
name's Sparky. Anyway,
I'm just
yeah,
messing with you,
yeah.
man.
Well, I mean, it coulda. I do like Charles Schultz. I do like Peanuts.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it should have ended with him.
yeah. Well, I mean, it
Anyway,
did for the most part.
yeah, yeah, that's true. But yeah,
Uh,
I also very much enjoyed Assorted Crisis Events. I thought it was thoughtful, heartbreaking. I definitely teared up at one point or another.
oh
Yeah,
God.
continues to be just a book
I mean,
where every single issue I'm like, I want everyone I know to read this.
so like, I'm going to spoil it a little bit here
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
like assorted crisis events deals with like temporal issues, and so essentially this issue had a version of Alzheimer's where like you
Hmm.
actually physically change to the different points in your life.
Yeah,
Um,
oscillating between,
I mean,
middle age, young,
having
old.
worked dementia units for as long as I did, I know that like the phenomena of kind of sliding between different places in your life is not actually something that doesn't happen already, but you're always looking at the same old person. I don't know how much more devastating it would become if like you came in one day and your husband was 6 and
Hmm.
didn't remember you and was
Right.
scared because his mommy wasn't there.
Yeah, I think the line of he never wanted, always wanted kids, but he never did. I guess we both got what we wanted. Like, holy
Right,
shit. Yeah.
right, right.
Yeah.
Um, and
Magnificent.
the the drawer with the pamphlet for the
Oof. Yeah. Yeah. Repeatedly.
and the balancing
Hmm.
to it promised to take care of him, but it's so hard.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
great. I'm so glad this series has kept going.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
Absolutely brilliant, but
so much.
so heartbreaking.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. It's great though. Also was what was a great time. Strange Tales #1 from Jeremy Whitley, Bailey Underwood, Jim Campbell, and Joe Caramagna at Marvel. That was some of the younger, um, well, I guess a couple Young Avengers and a couple of Runaways
Okay.
playing a role-playing game that they get sucked
Hmm.
into, and the Scarlet Witch gets involved.
So
Uh,
like die in the Marvel universe is what you're
Eh,
saying.
tiny bit, tiny bit.
Yeah.
Only it's more like the Marvel universe and a bunch of fantasy like goblins and
Right.
dragons
Right,
popped
right.
up. So yeah, it was a good time. I think it's going to be like a 4 issue miniseries or something. But
Cool.
I'm loving the art. I'm very excited. And then I finally got my hands on Good Devils Don't Play Fair with Evil from Nick Dragata and David Brothers. I actually, yeah, I forgot to pre-order this one. So then asked my shop, hey, can I get one? They ordered a few more copies, and apparently all those copies got snatched off the rack. And so it had been a couple weeks. I asked them again, I'm like, hey, did that ever turn up? And they're like, ah, dang, guess we'll have to order a few more. And I was, so I'm glad that
Right.
helped move a few issues. So yeah, and I also did pick up the Mortal Coil Shuffle. I have yet
Just
to read
too
it
cool.
myself. Yeah,
It
exactly.
was good.
Yeah, I
And just like a comic book as a deck of
flipped through it.
cards.
Yeah, holy crap. I mean, of course I'm gonna shuffle it eventually, you
Yeah.
know. Probably immediately after I read it once.
I
Um
haven't yet.
oh yeah.
I
But
haven't yet, but
I
I've thought
absolutely
about it.
love
And for that matter, what I haven't decided is whether I want to shuffle it or whether I want to more deliberately reorder it.
um figure out a way to play it with friends.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, right. Ooh, that'd be interesting. Deal out the cards and people have to decide what card
Right.
to put on top of the
Take turns playing
that
cards
that,
for
that could work. That could
yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Particularly
That's
with the two reverse cards in there.
absolutely. Heck yeah. I mean, I hope more stuff like this pops up, you know.
Yeah.
Um it's the kind of thing where I guess,
I mean, it's kind of crazy thing that you find it like indie cons all the time.
oh
I
really?
mean, one of my favorite comics that I have is actually like a perpetual comic.
Oh,
It's a Mobius strip comic.
interesting. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. I mean, I loved the Dan Slott, Mike Allred, Mobius strip issue of Silver Surfer. Did you read
Yeah.
that?
No,
Oh, I mean,
but
it
if it's on regular pages, it can't quite be the same. I mean, this
not
is literally
well,
like it's
right.
like it fits in your hand.
Right. So it's definitely a different beast, but it's still it's like it has to do with there's like a loop that between the pages there's like a top loop and a bottom loop sort of
Right.
thing. So yeah, it's a great issue. The whole run was quite fun. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I guess there's a bonus one. The Mike Allred Silver Surfer. How's the 3 chapters of One Piece?
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool. They're starting to get. I mean, the crew's back together. They're still under the sea.
nice.
But they're starting to wrap up there. I think they're going to wind up with another crew member or two.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, it's fun. It's just fun. Sometimes I don't
Nice.
have a way to describe One Piece other than it's fun.
Nice. Oh, that's
So,
exciting. Yeah, I did dig into first couple chapters of Mob Psycho 100. It is
so
completely
I read
ridiculous.
almost as much Harkuzi Mound as you read Mob Psycho,
Oh, what is
and
Harkuzi Mound?
it's the baseball comic that I'm reading,
Oh,
and I would have
okay.
read more except that like I only had to read one chapter to catch up this week.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm like up to date on it. I've been
Oh,
just
wow.
reading the chapters as they come out.
So you do like one a week?
Yeah, it comes out.
Oh,
mostly one a
goodness.
week.
Okay.
Um, so I mean, if we count the issue of the vertical scroll issue of Taste of Justice, which isn't manga, but it's
Hmm.
also like different from the rest of what we normally read, then I read more weird stuff than you did this week.
Oh, yeah. I'll have to plunge to deeper depths of strangeness to beat you one week. We'll see.
Anyway, how about Tuesday?
I mean, I I first of all, the way I heard that Dick Cheney had passed was from a post of the Grim Reaper grabbing someone out of a claw machine, and the caption was, "Hey, hope this is the way you find out about Cheney." So it was perfect.
I've
Oh
told you about
goodness.
Jay Quo and
Uh-huh.
Jay Quo gives me the weekly skeets and giggles, and the skeets and
Hmm.
giggles this week were also amazing. But
Hmm.
the MAGA cope is real
Yeah.
from Friday was almost like an early skeets and giggles. Donald Trump let everybody know that he wasn't on the ballot, and the shutdown. The fact that he wasn't on the ballot and the shutdown were the only two reasons that Republicans lost elections, according to
Oh.
pollsters.
Oh boy.
Um, I think that what he missed is the shutdown was what put him on the ballot, and yes, that's why they lost.
I, that's
Um,
quite amusing to imply that he doesn't understand the idiom of being on the ballot.
uh, um, I also loved that a Trump advisor told Axios he
Hmm.
will make their lives a living hell. He will call them at 3 o'clock in the morning. He will blow them up in their districts. He will call them un-American. He will call them old creatures of a dying institution. Believe you me, he's going to make their lives just hell. This is referring to the senators that don't want to get rid of the filibuster.
Mm,
Um, And like overall, I'm in favor of getting rid of the filibuster for
yeah.
any number of reasons. I understand why the Republicans are not, because like they're not going
They're
to
one
hold the
move.
Senate for very long. And like right now, there are actually a lot of things that the Republican House will pass that they don't want to pass. And if they don't get rid of the filibuster, then they can blame it on Democrats. And if they get rid of the filibuster, they're going to have to
Mhm.
take sides against their own party on some really stupid ass shit.
Wow.
Um, and also, like, anytime John Cornyn, Josh Hawley, and Tommy Tuberville are for something, you should just be against it. Oh, and Ron
Oh,
Johnson too. They're on the list of open to changes
woof.
regarding the filibuster. Um, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think the funniest headline I saw was a screenshot of Fox News, and the banner read, "By winning, the Democrats are actually losing."
yeah, yeah.
It was
Oh, I
complete
did love
batshit.
this one from the Kentucky Secretary of State.
Oh
We're
yeah.
getting calls about polls being closed. They are closed because we do not have elections today. Kentucky votes next year. You cannot vote today in Kentucky for the mayor of New York City or the governor of Virginia. Sorry.
Oh, we can only
Steve
hope.
Bannon actually said out loud,
Mm,
if we lose the midterms and we lose 2028, some in this room are going to prison, myself included.
we can only hope.
Um, yeah. Apparently, also that the Republican loss was big on Tuesday because Republicans are so happy with what's happening that they didn't bother to vote.
Huh.
Jake Tapper literally laughed in her face. Um, oh, this was good. Joe Rogan had Elon Musk on, and Rogan actually asked a surprisingly hard question for Rogan to ask. He when Musk called um Mamdani a swindler, Rogan asked him what makes him a swindler. Um, Musk did not actually have a response. Um, so
Apparently, he went down the K-hole.
yeah, yeah. Um, you know, a number of Republicans are blaming women. Um,
Against their one move.
Jesse Waters. So the Mamdani coalition, a lot of them are women. So let's talk about these single women because they were the force he here. You are in an apartment. It's small, it's very small, and it's very expensive. And you haven't gotten married and had kids and moved out to the suburbs like everybody else. So you're in a tiny apartment, and the apartment is getting really expensive because all these migrants are here now. And it's also expensive because of the Green New Deal. So your utilities are high, and you've got the wrong degree. You should have gotten a degree in like chemistry, biology, finance, computer science, something useful in the high tech AI economy. No, you got a degree in like Southeastern Asian feminist literature. I
Again,
did like
yeah.
this response.
Oh,
Woman,
making a
check.
list.
Small apartment, no. Unmarried, check. No kids, check. Expensive apartment, check. Because of migrants, no. Because of Green New Deal, no. STEM degree, no. Southeast Asian feminist lit degree, no.
That is clever. That's pretty good.
Uh,
Oh my
Megyn
goodness.
Kelly says that Republicans like to lose. Um,
Oh, there it is.
Laura Ingraham, by winning, Democrats are actually losing.
Yep.
Talking
It's too
to
good.
Vivek Ramaswamy, um, who who said that the GOP lost because of affordability and identity politics. What's great here is the responses to him saying it was affordability and
Mhm.
identity politics on Twitter. You've got GTFO, you are an invader who has scammed the American people. We do care about the color of your skin and your religion. Neither of yours are American.
Wow.
A incredibly racist,
Wow. Holy
seemingly
shit.
AI generated picture of an Indian. And allow me to
Oof.
explain your country's identity to you and how it includes me. And of course, the non white invader doesn't address the only lesson Republicans should take from tonight. Um, yeah. And then it's actually Allison Steinberg from the Lindell Network said, "I've said it before and I'll say it again. Women are the problem." With 61% of women voting for Abigail Spanberger versus only 45% of men. Um, and like, Democratic Socialist in New York, but in Virginia, it's like a centrist former CIA agent. Um, Alison Steinberg is, of course, the Jesus and King DC correspondent for Real Lindell TV, American carnivore steak, pronouns no, thank you. I think we should
Only
start
one of
calling
those
her
is a
no.
pronoun.
I think we should start calling. So Alison Steinberger, when no was on TV last night, uh,
That's clever. Oh my
I
goodness.
mean that's actually the thing that pisses me off the most about when they do their pronouns like that is like,
Hmm.
so you want to emphasize the fact that you're so stupid that you don't know what a
Right.
pronoun is.
Right. Oh goodness.
You can save your country or you can allow women to vote. You cannot do both.
Wow. That is a terrifying thing to say. Holy shit.
Yeah. Repeal the 19th Amendment and restore the household vote.
That is bullshit. Oh my God.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Oh,
So this is how the Manga crew copes, and they think that we're the snowflakes.
yeah. That's terrible.
So in case
Oh,
anybody missed where we're having fun here is like Democrats like cleaned up in every election there
so
was on
how many
Tuesday.
elections were there?
There weren't a ton, but like
Okay.
couple of governors' mansions, New York mayor, they're
Mm.
redistricting in California.
Oh.
They took a couple of seats on the utilities board in
Hmm.
Georgia, and
All
not
right.
by a little bit, by wide margins. Statewide offices in Georgia. Um, I mean, like Donald Trump and the Republican Party are so unpopular right now that Marjorie Taylor Greene went on The View and acted civilly.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of those things that,
I mean, she still wasn't able to like completely give up on like a lot of her bullshit.
oof,
I'm not at all like
right.
saying that she's reformed much, if at
But
all.
it's
But
more of a signal of the people turning against Trump himself,
but
of
but
willing to
but I mean, it's not even that. When was the last time you saw Marjorie Taylor Greene act civilly?
virtually never.
I don't think I ever have until her View interview.
Oh goodness.
I'm used to hearing her scream at people.
Yeah. I tend to not observe her, to be fair.
I don't very often either, which is why I can't guarantee that there's not other films somewhere where she acts
Right.
civilly.
But yeah, I've
But
seen a lot more of her acting pretty out of line.
right, right. She's the one that heckled the president during
Yeah,
the State of the Union.
that's right. Yeah.
Um, and she's in like among the safest districts in the world.
Hmm.
Now, AOC said that this is because she's pissed off because she got bullied into not running for Senate in Georgia.
Um,
And there are a handful of people who think that she's gearing up for a 2028 presidential run.
oof.
And either of those are possible, though I don't think she'd win either of them.
Yeah.
Um, but beyond all that, like, she certainly doesn't need to do it to keep her seat. She's in like among the safest seats in the country. I mean, you know this because like she loses it by less and less every election, and she
Well,
still like gets more than 60% of the vote in her county, which
wow.
is I think down 20% from the previous Republican.
Sounds like a place I would never want to go.
Right.
Oof.
On the flip side, Lauren Boebert had to move counties because she thought she was in a county that close, and then she won by what, 400 votes. And she decided that she wasn't going to let it be that close next time, so she
Hmm.
moved. It's just it's nice to have this glimmer of hope.
Yeah.
This glimmer of hope. Um, because among other things, like all plans for massive voter suppression, etc., go really
Mhm.
awry if it turns out that their gerrymandering loses them seats.
Yeah.
And there's reason to believe that um, cutting their margins to try to add districts could backfire.
Hmm.
Particularly because like a lot of these races were like 20 point swings from last year.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm hoping that it's a sign that people will still show up.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
and that some people who don't normally show up are showing up. I mean, I saw
yeah.
Jasmine Crockett talking yesterday, and part of what she was talking about is that like she's mulling a Senate run.
Hmm.
Um, and one of the things she said that's difficult with polling is in general, like one of the first questions is, do you intend to vote in the next election? And if you say no, they often end the call right then. Um, but like that 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 answer can change. Like I mean, how many? uh, Is it possible that like some of the underpolling in 2016 was from people who said no, who if the next question would be if Donald Trump is on the ballot, will you vote?
Hmm.
Who would have said, "Oh yeah, if Donald Trump is the Republican nominee, then yes, I'll vote in the
Hmm.
um so it's often not as simple as do I, a lot of elections can turn on the people that you get to vote who weren't going to vote. I
Hmm.
mean, in most elections, between 30 and 40% of the district don't vote, which means that like you can swing almost any election by just getting the people who don't vote to vote. Now,
Hmm.
that's a hard task, but it's not always as hard as swinging people from one side to the other,
Yeah, that is for sure.
you know. Um, so I mean, really, in any given election, about 30% of eligible voters are for each party.
Hmm.
And well, probably actually about 20% of eligible voters are for each party. Um, 20 to 30% are what we would call swing voters, and 30 to 40% are people who don't normally vote, who are also essentially swing voters.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Um, which is one of the reasons that always frustrates me when the Democratic Party gives up on so many heartland districts. I mean, just the pure math of things, like the idea that you couldn't convince enough people in a state with less than a million
Hmm.
to
Yeah.
to flip the party, just feels like you're not trying hard enough.
I mean, maybe, but yeah, I don't know. It's tough because just having driven through some counties like that,
I
it's
mean, I get it, but like
yeah.
in your lifetime, you're younger than me even.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
South Dakota, Montana have both had Democratic senators.
Okay.
Montana's had a Democratic governor. Iowa's had Democratic senators. Kansas has had Democratic senators.
Hmm.
Missouri's had a Democratic governor. These aren't places that have never been won by Democrats.
Okay.
You know, um, in 2018, three of Iowa's four House seats flipped Democratic. They're all back to Republican now, but like the idea that we gave up on the state and haven't like worked hard statewide stuff there just seems dumb to me.
Okay.
You know,
Admittedly, yeah, when you say things like Iowa and the Dakotas, I was thinking more like Kansas, even Missouri,
yeah.
those places, But
I mean, again, like any
I think a lot of that
any
might,
any Confederate state becomes harder,
yeah,
but they're still not impossible.
yeah. I mean, Georgia's been flipped recently, so
But even the smaller ones, you know, again, if you've got a million voters in the state and it's 60-40,
mhm.
Even if all of them voted, that means you need to flip about 100,000 votes.
Hmm.
But realistically, half of them voted, which means you have to flip 50,000 votes.
Hmm.
That shouldn't feel impossible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. You'd hope that between
Um,
motivation to actually get out and
well, and I also think
making
part of
these,
the
you know.
well, I think part of the problem is more and more they do it all through advertising, particularly in an era which like I don't think was a good thing in general.
Hmm.
Um, but it makes even less sense in an era of such fractured media consumption.
Hmm.
Managing to have your advertisements get seen by the people that they might actually sway is, I mean, they talk about databases and whatnot, but like,
Yeah.
maybe, but you got to somehow get them in front of the eyes of the people who weren't gonna vote for you or the people that you're afraid will stay home.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter if the people who support you see them. And it doesn't matter if the people who were never going to support you see them. In fact, it can be bad if the people who are never going to support you see them because they might have sway over some of those people that might. Whereas if you're doing, I mean, and part is I'm not even talking about like, I mean, yeah, they should be going for the Senate seats and the governors and whatnot, but like, I hate that there are so many county level seats that we don't manage to have a
Yeah.
Democrat on the ballot.
Yeah.
I don't care how red you think the county is. If you want to turn it blue, you start with the school board
Okay.
and the county board, because then suddenly when somebody's running for state representative, it's somebody that they've already voted for. He's been mayor,
Hmm.
she's been head of the school board, she's a known quantity. And
Hmm.
and those are the type of races that you don't win through advertising and whatnot. You win through chili bake-offs and going door to door.
Hmm.
You know, Um, I mean, this is what Mamdani did in New York. It's what Kat Abigazela is doing in the Illinois Ninth right now.
Hmm.
Um, I'm really going to be fascinated to see how she does in the primary because, like, she's the one that's on the ground, and she's definitely not, unfortunately, going to be the one that's picked by the Democratic establishment. Um, but I wonder if her head start and the fact that her whole campaign has been doing community events. It's been protesting. It's been cleaning up the beach. It's been, you know, um, providing safety to drag story time at the library.
Yeah.
you know, um,
Yeah, I think it'd be a damn shame if the Democratic Party didn't endorse and pick her, you know? Like,
Well, I mean, it's a primary, and to a certain extent, like the Democratic Party's not going to endorse, but I guarantee that there will be some older, more moneyed politician that either is already involved in the race or gets involved in the race. And then it will really become a question of what happens when the guy who's doing television ads is up against the person who's not doing any traditional advertising.
yeah. And I mean, depending on the age range of people in the county, you could have the vote go very different ways.
Right. Well, and that's where the fact that she's got Northwestern University and I think Loyola University in her county
Oh, wow.
are going to be
There you go.
interesting
You
because,
can have registration drives on college campuses
right,
for
if they
sure.
start registering um, at their campus addresses rather than their home addresses,
When I was
Like,
in school, I voted from my uh, college town. So yeah,
yeah, but lots of people don't.
yeah,
Um,
that's true.
so it has to be part of your concerted effort. And of
Hmm.
course, she's got the fun of having to deal with a federal criminal charge for, oh my God, getting beat up by an ICE agent.
Oh shit.
She was obstructing.
Oh,
That's what it's called now when you let an ICE agent throw you to the ground.
it's fucked up.
Welcome to the Trump Justice Department.
Yeah, it's
Uh, anyway, let's talk some books that we hope will be spectacular.
oh yeah.
We both have the same book on top. Uh,
Heck yeah.
Die Loaded Number One, Kieran Gillen and Stephanie Hans. I don't think there's anything we can say about Die that we haven't said many times over, and like people can listen to us play Die. So
Hmm.
just go buy the damn comic.
Heck yeah.
Um, City Beneath Her Feet, number two, from James Tynion the Fourth and Elsa Chartier. James Tynion was actually just at Challengers
Oh.
Comics and Conversation, and like I missed he was coming, so I just saw it on their social media feed that they had a nice big. It was busy enough that I'm actually kind of happy that I didn't know and didn't go because
Hmm.
I would have felt like I was in the way.
No.
Um, I
I'm sure you
like.
wouldn't be, you know? Like,
I'm sure I wouldn't be too, but like I can handle crowds under like if I was running the crowd, if it was
hmm.
my store, it probably wouldn't have bothered me.
Yeah.
If I had the type of relationship with them where I was coming down there to help
Hmm.
as an employee, it probably wouldn't have bothered me.
Hmm.
But if I'm going down just to get something signed and maybe buy something and whatnot, and particularly if I don't have friends with me to kind of be my shields, then the
Hmm.
crowd's not as much fun anymore.
No.
Um, it's kind of the autism and the shyness and all that stuff put together. But
I can understand that.
uh Elsa Chartier is one of my favorites. I have an original Elsa Chartier right above me right now.
Oh wow.
Um she did headshots for anybody who upgraded to a annual subscription a while back.
Mm.
And I wasn't going to turn down I think it's an 8 by 11
Nice.
from Elsa. And she asked me who I wanted, and I said, I want whatever you draw for me. So I have a very um serious looking woman, I think with some. I mean, it's black and white, but based on the hair, it feels like we've got some African descent.
Mm.
But the cheekbones make me think that she's more mixed.
Mm.
But I don't think it's an actual character. I think it's just something Elsa made for me,
Nice.
and I really like it.
That's cool.
I was looking up at it, and I was able to just be looking up at it as I was describing it because it's
I
the
can
one
attest.
that's right
Test.
above my desk.
Yep. He was looking right at the ceiling there.
Right. And then Uncle Scrooge, Flintheart Glomgold's Sinister Secret number two from Francesco Alcibiani, Jonathan H. Gray, and Alessandro Parina at Fantagraphics. Some books I know are spectacular. American Caper number one from Dan Hauser, Laszlo, and David Lapham at Dark Horse. Conversation with at least some of them is coming up very soon on 22 panels. Comfortless from Miguel Avila at Fantagraphics. I spoke with him today about this wonderful book. That will be
Mm.
on our airwaves soon. And Lovers and Haters, a Love and Rockets book from Gilbert Hernandez at Fantagraphics. Um, Also talked to him recently about this, and that's already available on 22 panels. So yeah, what are you looking forward to, Phil?
Well, first up, we got the giant-sized trade waiter pick of Adventure Man hardcover volume 4 from Matt Fraction, Terry Dodson, and Dodson, and Clayton Coles at Image Comics. And then, of course, I'm also very excited for Die Loaded from Kieran and Stephanie and Clayton over at Image. I hear that there are going to be some of the back matter of the single issues are going to be additional rules about the gods of Die. That
Oh.
Kieran is writing some more stuff for Godbinder. So I am
I mean,
all
didn't
for
we
it.
hear that together?
We did, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why I'm so
yeah, yeah,
excited
yeah,
for
yeah.
it.
You're allowed to plug our show.
And
So
I'm planning on incorporating those rules as best I can
no,
into
I,
our
I
campaign
just
as we play.
meant when you say things like I hear,
Yeah.
you act like you saw it on social media or something rather than like on the 22 panels episode where we
We
talked to
were
Kieran
told
Gillen.
by the author of the book that this
You're
is
totally
happening.
allowed to plug our
Oh,
show.
yeah. I gotta like slap myself for and pinch myself like that happened. That actually happened and it was great. It was marvelous. It was my favorite episode so far. It's hard to top. Um, but yeah,
I see how it is.
it's a good time. It's
I see how it is.
Ted, that is meant to be a compliment and a thank you for
Oh,
arranging that
okay.
and putting it together.
Okay.
It was
Okay. I mean, I
yeah,
guess I was there. I was
you were.
just okay. Okay.
You're in all of my favorite episodes.
Okay. Fair enough.
And additionally, it is a big week for Kieran Gillen as the Power Fantasy number 13 is booked with Casper Wingard, and Clayton Coles and Ryan Hughes, also at Image, is coming out. Start of the third book. It sounds like issue 16 was the first potential endpoint. Um, he's mentioned that there will probably be a longer than usual gap after the end of this arc. And of course, my heart is a quiver. I hope this book keeps going for years and years to come. I understand how tiring it can be, and definitely want them to live
Yeah,
their best and take
I
breaks and
think
all
he
that stuff.
said I think he even told us that like
Hmm.
he thinks it's going to be 32.
At least,
That
or 36
he
maybe, something like that.
yeah, yeah, he said 16 is where we needed to stop unless we thought
Hmm.
we could get to 32, but
Yeah,
32 to 36 is kind of like
yeah. That's the next
what the
phase.
story that he has.
See, I'm hoping that this is because it's the kind of thing where I'm like, uh, uh, I don't know. Again, I'm muttering to myself. I was going to say that I would love to see this book go on for 100 issues, but that also feels very selfish to say.
Yeah,
So it's
well,
hard
and I
to.
that just hasn't been Kieran's style so far.
Not yet, no, and that's his
I
longest
mean, he
book so
generally
far.
has more
The Wicked and Divine was 54 issues plus
right,
specials, so it was really like a
right,
good 60.
right,
But yeah, and I mean a 100 issue run can feel arbitrarily large, so I wouldn't want something that felt
right.
bloated and like
I'm just
stuffed
saying when we talked to him, I didn't feel like he saw this as
at the end. No.
I think he saw it as like he saw it as a 32 issue series that he could see going 36 if they wound up taking a couple of
Hmm.
detours that he could imagine but wasn't certain of.
Yeah.
Does that make
Well, and
sense?
yeah, but also it's I think it's because his first series Phonogram was one that could have gone on indefinitely, but didn't, and was three periodic miniseries because of the financial issues. So it's one of those
Right.
things that, you know, if I had to guess, it's probably
No,
always
but
been,
he doesn't have that issue nearly as
yeah,
much anymore. So
oh, for sure.
like again, the vibe I got from him was when he started it, he
Hmm.
was hoping for 32, but he
Hmm.
had an out at 6, he had an out at
16.
16,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Um, so we'll see. I mean, I don't want you not to get your wish. I'm just, I also am a big believer in, um, some stories are meant to be continuously ongoing.
Hmm.
And some stories are somewhat plotted from the beginning. So
Yeah.
sometimes they'll wind up being a little bit longer because of the winds in the road.
Hmm.
Um, or even sometimes a little bit shorter because they decide that it didn't take as long to get to this point as they had originally kind of blocked out for it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've seen those.
Um,
That was probably the biggest one of those that I can think of is Royal City, Jeff Lemire's book.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was he ended after three story arcs, and I was like,
Well, and
dang, I was really hoping
well,
that
no,
one was
he's
going to
got a
go.
graphic novel coming, but actually the biggest thing to me that I remember about that was that
Hmm.
he said that where he got at least I seem to remember him saying that where he got at the end of that 18 issues
Hmm.
is where he thought he was going to be at 30.
Oh.
But it felt like the tighter storytelling was more appropriate to what he was doing.
Hmm.
So it
Interesting.
turned out that his initial beats
Hmm.
just weren't right.
Yeah.
When he started actually sitting down and plotting the issues, he
Hmm.
was getting like what he thought was two issues into one, or what he thought was four issues into three,
Hmm.
you know.
Interesting.
Um, well, because I mean, particularly when it's a bigger story, I mean, you're a writer, you start
Hmm.
by like, here are my big arc beats.
Hmm.
Whether you're writing comics or writing fiction or whatnot, like here is the big beginning, middle, and end, and like the major points along the way. And you're taking a really big guess at like how long it's going to take to get to all of those. And if you're in comics, you're trying to think of it in terms of trade paperbacks. So you're
Yeah.
looking at it and going, oh, this is a big thing. This is a big thing. This is a big thing. So this is going to be six issues. This is going to be six
Hmm.
issues. This is going to be six issues. But
Hmm.
particularly if you're kind of ahead of yourself, like you're not already on a production calendar,
Yeah.
right? And you get going and you're like, oh, wait, I'm 12 pages in and I feel like I'm wrapping up what I had thought was an issue
Hmm.
now. I don't want to put out a 12-page comic.
Right.
Let me look
In
at
this
this.
economy?
Well, it's not even that. It's like,
Yeah, that's one of that's
I
that's
mean,
that's
comic pacing is interesting.
it is. That's for sure.
Um, I mean, the feel I got was, I mean, part of it was definitely he just wasn't ready to do more. It was more
Hmm.
exhausting than he expected it to be.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a really personal story to him.
Hmm.
Um, and again, I haven't talked to Jeff. This is from picking up from, so I could be completely talking out my ass on all of this. And my
Yeah.
apologies if I am, Jeff, and you're listening and like, please come set this record straight. Um, which is also why I'm trying to speak in a more general sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but it felt like with that book, it was a mixture of this is as much I can do right now. I have other ideas. I will be coming back. I don't know
Mm.
if I'm going to come back in single issues because, I think he felt the grind of single issues on that book
Hmm.
was just too much,
Yeah.
because it's a different grind.
Yeah.
Um,
So you said did he say that he's doing another
yeah, he
book with
put
that
that on
or
his
okay.
Substack a long time ago.
Oh, and
It
I
was
missed that.
actually
Okay.
supposed to be his next book that he did, but then he wound up stepping away from it and doing Fish Flies.
Mm.
Um, and now he's doing Minor Arcana.
Hmm.
But I think I read from him somewhat recently that it's still there. It's still progressing. We still will see it. But again,
At
I mean,
some point.
that's creators are human.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like the number of creators I know who are in awe of the people who can write autobio comics
Yeah.
because they're sitting there going, I spend a day with a page. There's
Hmm.
so many parts of my life that I don't want to spend a day with.
It's amusing.
you know? And what if that part takes 4 pages?
Yeah.
I, I don't want to sit with that for 4 days.
Hmm.
I mean, you weren't here for the Carol Tyler interview, but when we were talking, like, because of
Hmm.
Ephemerata, I mean, if you read it, you can
Yeah.
tell how painful it was to write. And
Oh,
she didn't even get into grieving her husband.
oof.
That's the next book.
Yikes.
And
Wow.
her comment was, A, I knew that it needed to be its own book.
Hmm.
And B, I knew that I needed to schedule regular therapy first.
Wow. Yeah. That's huge.
So part of her planning for making the book was scheduling therapy.
Well, that's healthy. That's good.
It
Encourage her.
is, but
Yeah.
like storytelling is hard. Storytelling can
Hmm.
take a lot out of you.
That's for sure.
And when you're writing and drawing, it can take even more out of you.
Yeah.
Um, so like I'm never shocked when books that I love have to take breaks or wind up
Yeah.
because, you know, the creators are human too.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
And for that matter, I imagine it's also why a lot of people who don't necessarily need to are happy to take a Marvel or DC gig from time to time because it is much
Hmm.
easier to tell great stories there that you're not nearly as emotionally invested in.
Yeah. That's for sure.
You know, again, that's my extrapolation from talking to comics and from like I'm not trying to say that definitively or whatever. Don't come at me. I'm not. Not trying to say they're lesser. I'm not saying trying to say that there aren't people
Uh,
who throw their heart and soul, blood and guts into them. Um, but I mean like one of the reasons why people fictionalize very autobiographical stories is that it puts a layer in between. I got to imagine if the characters aren't yours either, it puts yet another layer in between.
oh yeah.
It just gives you that buffer, that space to go, this isn't me, this is Bruce Wayne.
Hmm.
you know so
At that point, it's almost like you're taking a punch at a deity of sorts.
yeah,
Yeah.
so 4 seasons in the books. You've been around for like half of one now.
Yeah. Yeah.
About half of one. so
Goodness.
so like I mean you've been around as a listener for most of four.
Hmm. Hmm.
um like how does the grind feel? I mean, before we wrap up, like,
Oh, it's getting more natural.
yeah,
I am absolutely loving being able to talk comics every week and finding new stuff, hearing about new stuff. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, it's a good time.
good,
Yeah.
good. Then then I suppose we'll keep you on.
Oof.
Still the junior co-host, I think, but
I will happily be the Robin to your Batman.
well, I was actually literally just thinking, one of the things I need to sort out tomorrow when I'm talking with Edgar is
Hmm.
official titles. Just because
Um.
when I send emails to publishers and whatnot to get
Mhm.
on whatever mailing lists I can get on to be out in front of announcements and or read advance things, etc.,
Mhm.
to make it easier to order, easier to book, etc. Um, so I'm like, oh, I should also probably have um a 22 panels title. So I think
Um.
I'm going to call myself host and managing editor.
There you go.
So I hope you're okay with that.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Right now, it's a benevolent dictatorship because without Tyler here, I don't
Aptly.
even I'm not ready for it to be anywhere near a democracy.
That's okay.
Frankly, I think it had kind of become a benevolent dictatorship even with Tyler around, and so happy that he put up with that.
I was going to say, I'm happy to follow you along for the ride in most of the places you probably want to go.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna just because he's on my mind, say tell Nate to have a great day and say 6-7 again, uh, and then say for 22 panels. This has been episode 209. Holy fucking shit! Um, and yes, I swore young ears. Um, we'll see you after the next page.